Costco. Now, Costco's great if you ever need 400 toilet rolls, a kayak, and a lifetime supply of baked beans, all before lunch.
Yes, but here in America, anybody could buy that stuff at a Costco.
That's because
Unlike
Americans are
the
precious.
UK, we're privileged.
You know, there'd be a fucking shit fire if you excluded people from being able to go to Costco. There'd be riots in the street. There'd be schools getting gunned down. We have that anyway, but more of that, you know. That's
Can
why.
we have more of that? Jeez.
Oh, I don't know. You had one recently. I just fucking shat myself.
On that note, welcome to Two Sides of the Pond, where this shitter over here in the UK, Matthew, and me over here in the US, Dwayne, are going to be talking about whatever we really want, with no prior knowledge, just personal experience on our sides, and see what you guys have to think
not
about
even
it.
that most of the time. It's not even personal experience. It comes from nowhere. We're talking about things we do not understand. But it's funny
but do you
because
have
people get very sensitive.
But do you have a Costco membership?
I do.
Okay.
I do have one.
I've
had
do
one
not.
for a year and a half now. So I've got one through my business. So as you said, that it's not for everyone in this country.
Right.
It is for certain people. And I'll read it out actually. So I'll go on to the Costco membership.
It's the working class. It's the upper
Maybe.
working class, actually.
Maybe. So,
Go
do
ahead.
I qualify? So, you need to be a current or retired employee of banking, finance, local government, fire rescue service, post office. Well, post office isn't much money. Airlines, which is an interesting one. Education, which is quite broad as well. Police force, fair enough. Civil service, armed forces, medical health service, and insurance. So, I suppose it's more critical sort of career paths, things that are needed for society to run. Airlines is a bit of a weird one because you don't technically need it. Well, I suppose you kind of do, but but things like banking and government and fire and armed forces, you need all this shit and health and whatnot. Or you need to be
Why do you need toilet paper? Why do only you guys get to, like, this group of people need all this toilet paper?
Oh, maybe they ship more. I don't know. No idea. I mean, if you're running into houses on fire, you're not going to have the shits. I probably would. You wouldn't have a canister of air on your back. You'd have a canister of fucking bog roll to wipe up the mess as you run into a burning building. That's what you're going to be doing. Anyway, or qualified as a accountant, a architect, a doctor, dentist, optician, pharmacist, a surveyor, a solicitor, a bastard, a magistrate, or an advocate, or an engineer, civil or otherwise. So, that's what you need.
Money.
Basically.
These are all fields that you make a decent amount of money in.
It is, yeah. So fucking get off your ass and get a better job, basically. So you can get a Costco card.
Anybody here can get a Costco card.
Yeah, it's because it's just nothing special out there, is it really? No one's special, so it's been given to everybody.
Do you have more than one type of, like, big box clubhouse membership thing than Costco?
Yes. There is another one called Makro, I think, as well, which is very similar. Let me look at Makro. So let's bring up that for you. I guess it still exists. Makro.
Because we have
is a
BJ's,
wholesale.
Sam's Club.
You have BJ's. I bet you fucking do.
That's where I met my, ex. Anyway,
how the fuck is Makro? Here we go. Makro. God, their website is shit. I need to reach out to them and do something better. Services for your business. I think it's for business only. I can't figure out on their website shit. What the fuck is that? That's not. Have they changed brand? Is that what's happened? It's Dutch, apparently. Makro is Dutch. Brand of warehouse shite and other bollocks. I don't fucking know. They may have changed. They went bankrupt in Belgium. All 6 shops. Damn. A lot in Brazil were acquired by Carrefour, whatever that is. Walmart took ownership of Makro in South Africa. Now that's an interesting one.
Now you don't have Walmart though.
We don't have Walmart, no, but we have Walmart-owned things. Okay, so Makro UK was sold to Booker Group or whatever the fuck it's called. So that's why I don't recognize it anymore. I don't know if they do the same sort of thing, but they are a subsidiary of Tesco. Fucking Tesco. But yeah, there was others than Costco. I don't know what the situation now is with Booker. I couldn't give a fuck, to be honest. But obviously with Costco, you also have trade membership. So, not just individuals. So trade is you need to be, it's for business owners and managers and all that sort of shit. It allows you to buy stuff for your business or for resale, whatever you want to do. Obviously, it's wholesale purchasing. You just got to provide evidence of your business to show that you're VAT registered. You've got employers' liability insurance, or you've got a house of certificate of incorporation, fucking taxi driver license as well if you're a taxi driver. But yeah, there's various things. So I did that because there's not one near me. It's about an hour and a half to get to it, but because I used to drive myself to Heathrow a lot, and to do that, I would go up the M5 to Bristol, and then across on the M4 to Heathrow. And I would go to the fuel station at Costco because the fuel was a lot cheaper at Costco than it is anywhere else. So it was well worth using your Costco membership for the fuel. So I'd fill up on the way to Heathrow and I'd fill up on the way back. And I get a lot cheaper fuel. Now, there's two problems with that. So the first one is I usually get chauffeured now to the airport to save myself driving and clocking up all those miles because it's just exhausting and it's just wrecking the shit out of the car. Plus now my new car is a sports car and requires a certain type of fuel, which Costco don't do. I need to go to Shell if I'm going to put in the recommended fuel into the car. Now, I could use Shell's premium, and it would be okay, but it's just not quite what the car recommends, and I'd rather just use Shell V-Power because that is the recommended fuel for the car. Why get yourself the car of that level to then not put the right fuel in it? It just doesn't make sense. So I don't currently have much of a reason to go to Costco.
Now, the one thing I've noticed about Costco in the UK, because I have done a little bit of research on this.
Yeah.
It's the first place and maybe the only place, you'll have to tell me, that has two different prices on things. One that includes the VAT and one that does not.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Which is very interesting because I know you've told me multiple times how what we call sales tax, and I guess that's your VAT.
That's VAT. Yes. Yeah, it's our sales tax. Yeah, same thing.
So because of that's already included in the price. So when you take something that's $14.99, go up to the register, go to purchase it, you are charged $14.99 no matter what it is. That's what you're expected to pay.
So much easier.
You do not have to worry about that, right? Where here, depending on the state and the county that you live in, depends on what additional percentage for our sales tax is on there.
Yeah.
Now, when you go to Costco, it tells you two prices with VAT and without VAT.
Do you know why
have
that is?
To have a membership. You have to have a tax-free membership for Costco, the different levels of membership. If you own a business that is a tax-free agency, I guess, you pay the lower price because you don't pay the VAT. That's included in that other price.
Yeah. Well, kind of. Doesn't quite work that way.
You're never going to agree with me on this podcast, ever.
Well, in order for that, you've got to be correct. I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass and agree when you're wrong.
Done. Go on.
So
school me, Daddy.
Yes, I would. Daddy! Anyway, yes, I'm not going down that road. So yes, we do have two prices. Obviously, for most places where you go to, you have just the one price, which is VAT inclusive, right? Because it's consumers that are buying it, so we always pay with the VAT. Obviously, because Costco is not primarily focused towards businesses, but it's a wholesaler, right? You're buying at wholesale prices, not at retail prices. And because of that, you're going to get a lot of companies coming through wanting to know what the wholesale price is before VAT. Now, when you go to purchase, you will still pay the full price with VAT. You don't pay the lower price at the point of purchase. But when you come to do your VAT return for your company, you're going to do, your return will say all of the things you've sold, all of the VAT you've added on to everything that you've sold, and all of the VAT you've paid for all the things that you've purchased, and you'll calculate a difference. Do you owe HMRC money, or do they owe you a VAT refund, depending on which way it balances?
What is HRC?
HMRC is Her Majesty's
HMRC.
Registered Cunt or whatever it is. I don't know. It's where you, yeah, it's our governmental companies formation in charge of tax and income tax and all that sort of bollocks. So that's where you file your company returns.
We have the IRS.
Yeah, it's basically that. Yeah, HMRC is basically IRS, I would say. Yeah, that's equivalent.
Okay.
So but that's when you then get the difference. But the reason why they'll show the prices is because as a business, you will want to know the price that you're ultimately paying for something, not the full price you're purchasing it for at that point in time. You don't pay the lower price, because every single company that is VAT registered is responsible for adding on VAT and then giving a VAT invoice to show the amount added on. And then also when you buy stuff, you then having that documented. So HMRC can track to see where money is moving around.
Okay.
So that's it.
Where do you buy your toilet paper?
From Sainsbury's. And
that is a grocery store?
Yeah, it's like Tesco.
Okay. Do you buy like the big 24 roll?
Pretty much, yeah. It lasts me a few days. But yeah, no, in all seriousness, it does last a while. It does.
Okay.
It does keep going. I just find it easier. I've had people moan at me and stuff like, "Oh, why are you buying so much?" It's like, who gives a shit? I can't be fucked to go more often and buy something like that. I'd rather just buy the biggest pack you can get. It goes in the cupboard, and then it will last however long it lasts. And I haven't got to worry about it until it's all gone.
Before, when I was living on my own, I would average one roll of toilet paper a month. Is that, you live on your own, is that standard? Or
no, I use more, but you got to bear in mind that I also work from home, where I guess you were probably shitting elsewhere, not just in your house.
Yeah.
Whereas I spend a lot of time in my house, so I had some spicy fucking rice, not the Asian kind, before your mind goes there. And I will shit.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Bollocks. Just watch the previous episode to understand what I'm getting at.
Mm-hmm.
Chin chin. but yeah.
So what else do you buy in bulk then?
So I've sometimes I get things from Amazon because I can't be bothered to go to a shop to get it. So if I need to have, I don't know, let's say some Dettol, some disinfectant for the side. I'm guessing you know Dettol. It's just disinfectant.
No.
Whatever.
Cleaning.
What do you? Yeah, the stuff you put on your kitchen side and then wipe. What shit do you buy?
Oh, Mrs. Meyer's multi-purpose cleaner.
Jesus fucking
is
Christ.
The name of the brand. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we just call it Dettol because it's fucking long ass name. This is Meyer's multi-purpose fucking give yourself AIDS or something. What the hell's that all about? Come on.
But it's just a concentrated bottle that you add to water.
You have to mix it?
A little bit. The one I buy, yes.
Oh, well, Dettol you just spray.
Because we care about the environment.
Yeah, but Dettol's all made
in my household. Right, but how much water is in it? I guarantee you a huge percentage of that is water. So if you were to care about the environment, you buy it concentrated and add your own water, so you're paying a lot less. You're paying less.
Who gives a fuck?
You're not wasting money on water.
I don't track this shit. I don't care. It does I don't look. Like I have this. Like my mum will always look at prices in like Sainsbury's and Tesco and try and find the cheapest stuff. I don't look at prices. I go in and go, right, I need chicken, I need rice, I need some spices, and I just grab what I need. I don't care what the prices are. I don't look. I don't go, oh, this has got a better price over here or whatever. I just grab. I don't give a shit. I haven't got time to worry about stuff like that.
I do more so check the prices versus ingredients on a lot of the things that I bring into the house. I will say that. I think a big part of that is my upbringing, and you want to get more bang for your buck. You want to be able to. Sometimes generic is okay, and sometimes it's not. Like ketchup here, we have tried ketchup and mayonnaise are the two main products that pop into mind that are very different when it comes to the generic versions versus the brand name here. So in ketchup, it would be Heinz. And with mayonnaise, it would be
Also Heinz.
something else. No.
No?
Um,
Hellman's?
Hellman's, yes. So it would be Hellman's mayonnaise, which is done by a big manufacturer here. But
As opposed to Heinz being the little local fucking corner shop making it. Good one, Dwayne.
Yeah. Anyway. No, and we have tried different types of those products, generic wise, and they're not good. They just aren't. They aren't the same. It's the quality that you grew up with. There's this thing, and you might, being a person of your age, might understand this. You are a lifer. You are considered a lifer right now, at least here in the United States, in the marketing aspect of things. By the time you hit 30, you have decided what toothpaste you are buying and using all the time. There are majority of the people have already picked that one, and that's the one you gravitate towards. You are not going to try something new when it comes to something like toothpaste or ketchup or mayonnaise. You found your people.
Yeah, toothpaste, I have got a reason for that, but yes, I get what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So toothpaste,
just like at fast food. Yeah.
So toothpaste, interestingly, I was forced to change to, I ended up using Sensodyne because I needed to have toothpaste that didn't have SLS in the ingredient list, which is I think it's like sodium lauryl sulfate or some weird shit. Basically, it burns flesh, and it's what makes the toothpaste frothy. It's the ingredient that makes it really, really frothy. But that burns my gums and then get massive ulcers, like massive ulcers all over the place because it's burning the inside of my mouth. And it took me years and years and years to figure out what the fuck was causing me to constantly get ulcers. And they were horrible. I got to the point where I had like 3 that would then join together to create a massive fucking canyon in my mouth. And it was the toothpaste. It was burning the shit out of me. But even dentists didn't even know.
So painful.
Yeah. So I do suffer with ulcers. Like if I bite my lip, it will become an ulcer. But because I'm now not using SLS in toothpaste, it's a lot more manageable. You know, it's okay. But like when I told my dentist about this, he had no idea. He never heard of SLS being a problem. You know, it's such an and I still think it is. When you search up ulcers and the reasons for it, people say, oh, it's to do with stress. Oh, it's to do with chocolate. And maybe it is, but it wasn't for me. You know, it was the SLS in the toothpaste that was the main trigger point. And I also had a period of time as well where mayonnaise would cause it. That seems to have gone away now, strangely. But for about a couple of years, I couldn't have mayonnaise because that was giving me ulcers. Weird.
Really?
Yeah.
And in your mouth. Because when I hear ulcer,
where else we put it
I
up my
think
ass?
of in your stomach.
Yeah,
no.
Oh, I see what you meant. I thought you meant mayonnaise. Like, I thought you were trying to say you put mayonnaise in your mouth. I was like, where else am I fucking putting it? But yeah.
No,
yeah,
when you say ulcer, the first thing I think of is your stomach and your intestinal ulcers. Lining.
Yes.
Yeah. So okay.
I used to get them in the mouth, but yeah. Because the thing is with an ulcer, the ulcer itself is not bad. It's not a bad thing. The ulcer is the consequence of having some form of damage and is then repairing. The ulcer is the bit that's repairing the damage. But it just so happens that the ulcer itself is very, very painful whilst it is repairing the damage in your mouth. So, you know, you can't prevent ulcers per se because they're good. It just fucking hurts. But yeah, but it was the thing that was triggering the ulcer, which was SLS and toothpaste. So I went to Sensodyne because they don't use that ingredient. They use something else for the frothiness, and the toothpaste isn't as frothy. There is a noticeable difference between like Colgate or whatever. But again, I don't need it to froth like I've got rabies. It's fine. You know, it's not why I buy toothpaste. But yeah, fun fact for you.
Okay, but the frothing kind of says to me that it's working when it comes to certain things like toothpaste, like hand soap. like shampoo. There are shampoos without like sulfates or phosphoruses or whatever it is that your shampoo will not like foam up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't believe that it's actually cleaning my
I
hair.
can't believe it's not butter. Yeah. I just trust the process.
Yeah, I don't buy margarine either, by the way. Like I just don't do that. No. If I want fat like that version of fat, an oil, which is basically oil, for margarine, I will put olive oil in my shit, or I will put avocado oil in my food. I am not gonna go the solid route of oil.
Okay, that's fair.
And pretend that it's butter.
Yeah.
So that's just not something I'm willing to do in this time of life. But yeah,
going
when
back,
I've noticed,
going back on bulk buying and stuff. So, I'm talking about Dettol. So I need to get some disinfectant, and you can get like a 4-pack or a 5-pack on Amazon, and it's just cheaper to buy a pack. And this is stuff that I use frequently, to clean down the side. This is where, especially when I had cats as well. When I had cats that were always jumping up on the side, before you cook, you're spraying down the entire kitchen surface to make sure there's no shitty paw prints on the kitchen side, right? So it's a daily use thing. Now I don't have cats. It's not as bad because things stay cleaner for longer. But it was the sort of thing of like every day or even multiple times a day spraying the shit out of everything. And it's not just the place where you cook as well, because like usually when I cook, I'm using a small part of the kitchen, so I usually clean the hob of the oven, and then I'm then cleaning the prep area next to it, where I'm doing all the cutting, and that's the only part of the kitchen I actually use for doing food. So when you haven't got cats, I haven't got to clean the entire kitchen every single day, just the area that I'm going to be using, because it's fine, right? And then the rest of the kitchen gets cleaned, less frequently, but you know what I mean. But when I have cats that are then walking here, there, and everywhere because they refuse to stay off the kitchen side, then it just ends up being everywhere is being cleaned constantly. So yeah, I just go, fuck it, I'll buy a pack of 5. It go in the cupboard. That'll keep me going for a while. Easy peasy. But that people sort of moan at me as if it impacts them, as if it's their fucking wallet that I'm using. It's like, it's got fuck all to do with you. Just piss off and do your own thing. And this is one person in particular.
Why are they getting mad at you at?
I don't know, because it's just fucking broken. One in particular, which was the one that moaned the most, right, used to never do like a food shop for the week. They'd always go to Tesco, usually twice a day. They go for lunch and they go for the in the evening to get something to cook that day. So constantly back and forth with fuel, wasting money, constantly buying things, just for the meal, and then usually having wastage and throwing it in the bin. Whereas I'm very much, right, I know what I'm doing this week. I'll go to the shop once and get enough things in for the week, and it's all fine. They didn't want to do that. They hated doing that. And it's like, fine, each to your own. But don't then moan at me for being a bit more organized or a bit more forward thinking. Again, I don't overly care about money and what things cost, but it's much easier for me to go Amazon 5-pack order, cool, be here tomorrow, fuck off. That's it, right? Rather than going to wander around Tesco thinking like, okay, where the fuck is this? Oh, great, they've moved it yet again because they're bastards like that. They move things to a new aisle. So you go down the aisle that you think it's in, think, I know where this is. You look, it goes, nope, that is fucking lawn cleaner. That's not what I want. I want kitchen cleaner. Where the fuck? And you have to then refind it. And it takes time. Time is money. So
that doesn't just happen over there, by the way. It happens here too.
Oh yeah, it's a marketing.
It's marketing.
Strategy.
Exactly.
Because they'd be like, oh, look at this fucking thing that I didn't think I needed.
I buy produce one place. I will buy my meats and proteins in another shop, and then I have my things that I use daily on a regular basis. I buy somewhere else, and then cleaning supplies I will buy in one place. Like, I don't go to 6 different places, but I mean, like, I know, and then there's of course Amazon. So I will buy the meats and whatnot at Sam's Club, which is a type of Costco here that's owned by Walmart. So because you buy the bigger packs of chicken breast, you buy the bigger packs of meats and whatever, and then we separate it out into meal size, and we airtight vacuum seal it, and then put it in our freezer and just separate it out like that. And we will buy that stuff there. But we know we go to Aldi's for a lot of other like canned goods and cheeses and whatnot, but their produce is absolute shit here. So we have to get our produce in like a Walmart type store because we don't need a bulk of it from Sam's Club. We just need what we're going to use for the week. And there's nothing wrong with frozen bags of vegetables if needed, if you're making a stir fry. It doesn't all have to be fresh.
Yeah.
And I say that just because like we do wind up going to 3 or 4 different places for that stuff, and we do the bulk shopping for the meats. We do like maybe once a month, at the most twice a month, where we need to
freeze a lot of meat.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I have a freezer in my garage for a lot of that as well. And then the stuff we would use during the week is in the freezer in my refrigerator, because in the kitchen, because it is not as big as I would like it to be. It's just like a drawer that it's much smaller. It's more like an ice chest size thing.
Throw the upcoming stuff in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, I tend to get fresh chicken and whatnot, because it will last 4 or 5 days anyway, and that's fine for me. In terms of me eating food for the week, that works perfectly fine. And I also like cooking fresh each day. I used to meal prep. I used to do like 3 days in one go and then eat one and put the other 2 meals in the fridge. And it's okay. You're warming it up the next day or whatever, but it just doesn't taste as good. And as the days go by, it tastes worse and worse. So I much prefer. I've got into the swing of it now with what I do cook. I'm able to cook enough just for one meal, because that's the thing I struggle with quite a lot as well. Is a lot of things when you buy or whatnot, a lot of it is designed for 2 people. It's 2 portions worth of stuff, and it's like, yeah, it's great, but what am I supposed to do? Just eat 2 people's worth of food, or waste it, or what? So
however, there are so many things that, because it goes exactly the opposite way as well. There are so many things out there that you're consuming what is considered 3 or 4 portions and not even know it. We're going to go on the unhealthy side for a second. Oreos. Do you know how many how many cookies are in a serving of Oreos?
No.
Do you know how many you eat when you sit down and eat, if you eat Oreos?
20. I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot.
So, an actual serving size of Oreos is 2.
How many calories in a single Oreo?
In a single Oreo?
Yeah. If you're going to have a little Oreo biscuit, cookie, whatever the fuck you want to call it in Yankeeville, how many calories? I think it's something horrific. I think it's something stupid, like 800 calories per fucking cookie. Something stupid.
Oh, shut up. It's not that bad.
No, not that bad. But it'll be something high, I bet. It'll be something ridiculous. I reckon it'd be between 100 and 200 calories per cookie.
All right. Well,
it wouldn't surprise me.
Depending on the type of Oreo, because there are double stuffed, triple stuffed, single, thin.
Yeah, this is normal.
It goes
Oreo.
All right, so normal Oreo between 100 and 160 calories.
There you go. So exactly what I said. That is
exactly
ridiculous. So when you think that you can only have about 10 of those, and that's more or less your daily intake.
Yeah.
And think how easy it is. Yeah. No, of your whole intake. If you had 10 of those, it's more or less your calorie intake for the day.
Well, person, if you're having 10,
like for me,
yes.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, is I need to consume about 1,800 calories in a day. And that's all I need to maintain my weight, right? More or less.
Yeah.
So having 10 of those, but the thing is, if you have
you're
10,
done.
But you don't feel full. It doesn't give you the nutrients and the energy you need for it to be the only thing you eat that day.
But don't forget, you're not just having the Oreos when you're sitting down eating Oreos, unless you're a fucking monster, because then you're having a glass of milk, which has calories in it as well. Let's be real.
It's true. Yeah. There's something that I saw. I can't remember what it was, but something baffled me. I don't remember what it was, but it was something. So it's with Domino's, right? Domino's do the garlic and herb dip, which I love, right? It's really, really, really good. I love dipping the stuffed crust into it. And they do a big dip version, right? So you usually get the little small dips. small little plastic ones. You can get the bigger version, right?
I know
now,
where this is going.
I don't know for sure. Actually, I'm going to Google it. So, Domino's Big Dip calories, because it is insane. If you if you think, right, you can get a pizza, like a medium pizza, which could be like 2,000 calories, maybe even more than that. You know, and again, it's meant for more than one person, but let's be honest, when you order a medium pizza from Domino's, you're devouring the entire thing by yourself, plus you're having like chicken kickers and dough balls and maybe a cookie afterwards. If you also add on the dip, which I used to do...
couple of Oreos with milk.
couple of Oreos with milk, yeah. And that's just the evening meal. That doesn't include breakfast and dinner, you know what I mean? That's just your evening meal, and then you still have a midnight snack afterwards. But if you also add on the dip alone is 675 calories.
Oh my God, not counting what you're dipping in it. Holy
just
shit.
The dip alone is mad. And I used to devour an entire tub of Big Dip all to myself. I used to pour it on the entire pizza because I love pizza with the dip on it. And then the leftover, I dip the crust. And it was banging, but I was consuming probably close to 4,000 calories on that meal. Now, fortunately, I don't do that often. I might do that once or twice a month as a treat. And it's fine. And then I go on a massive detox a few days after to rebalance out the calorie intake because it's more what you do over a longer period of time. But it's a lot. It's a lot of food. And you just don't need it.
Right. And you have encouraged me. I recently told you I'm waiting for my order from Huel to come in.
Oh, yes. You did indeed. Yes.
And they are complete meal replacements with higher in protein, lower in sugar.
Did you get the pre-made bottle ones?
No.
Okay, you're going to be shaking it yourself and putting the powder in.
Yes, because I also think that I could do that at work because we have bottles of water at work. So if I bring just like
you're going to do it with water
container of the powder.
I hate it with water. You might like it, but I think it tastes like shit. I have to have it with milk.
Really?
Yeah, I tried it with water. It is vile.
Really?
Yeah,
okay,
you might like it, but I didn't. I have to have it with. So I tried it with normal milk from a cow's tit, and I also tried it with almond milk as well. And both are fine. Almond milk, it made it a lot more stodgy. It wasn't as it didn't flow down your throat. You had to more sort of almost chew
it,
but not.
Oh
not
my
really.
God!
Yeah, like almost chew it, but not really. It's weird. But it's the almond milk that was doing that because almond milk is a lot thicker. This is what it is.
Okay.
But I would recommend next time you are in a supermarket or whatever, see if you can find a pre-made bottle in the fridge area and just give one a try.
What drew me into the powder also was the flavor selection.
You do have more. That is true. But all the flavors that I like personally, I've got in the bottled formats because I alternate between chocolate, vanilla, and caramel. And that does me fine. So I change. I go around.
Now, do you have a subscription for that?
Yeah. It comes every month. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it keeps me going. It's good, and I have the little protein bars. But you have fridges though at work. Why don't you just get the pre-made bottles and throw it in the fridge?
Because I'm not by the fridge when I need it. I don't know where I'm going to be.
Lazy bastard.
I don't know where I'm going to be.
You say you want to do more exercise. Walk, run, jog, backflip, crawl.
Yeah.
All of the above.
Nice. No, I'm going to try it and I'll let you know what I think about it because I got 3 different flavors. So we're going to see how that goes.
Haven't you? Without even knowing if you like it, you've really gone for it.
Well, the good thing about Huel is the fact that you can, within the first 30 days of a new subscription, you can cancel and get your money back if you don't like the way it is.
Yeah. If it does taste like shit with water, though, give it another chance with something other than water because I personally wouldn't rate it with water. But I'm just not like I drink a lot of water on its own, but I don't like much mixed with water, strangely. Yeah, it's weird.
Okay.
But there we go.
All right.
But hey ho, we should probably wrap things up then.
Yeah, exactly.
From Costco to food and other random shite. But yes. So if you have a Costco membership in the UK or the US, let us know. And what do you buy? What do you buy quite often? Because I don't buy anything. But have you ever bought from Costco yourself?
No, I have the equivalent Sam's Club. So I do buy from there. So I buy from a big
You've done similar
box
things,
membership store.
Membership type basis. Fair enough. But let us
I want to know what you're buying.
Yeah.
In bulk. So, yeah. Sounds good.
Until next one, it's a bye from me.
And goodbye from me.